Greetings everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the detailed process on how I made this extended collar with ruffles at the tip. Kindly note that you can make yours with or without the ruffles at the tip. I got inspired to make this tutorial after seeing this collar on designer Prudent Gabriel. So quickly, let's get started. So I've gone ahead to sew the shirt part of this. My shirt is a stretchy fabric, that's why it does not have a zipper. But if yours is not a stretchy fabric, ensure that the zipper ends 1 inch before the neckline so that the neckline can be closed all through. For the neck width, I used 6 inches, which is 3 inches on fold, and for the neck depth, I used 1 inch for the back neck depth and 7 inches for the front neck depth. I'll place the two shoulders of this top together and I would arrange the neckline equally from the back all the way to the front. This is to make the neckline be on the fold. Then from the back center, I'll go ahead to measure the total of what I have of my neckline, and what I have here is 12 inches. This 12 inches is what I'll be using to draft out my collar on the pattern paper. So first, I'll go ahead to draw a startup line on the side, and for the down startup line, you should ensure that it is 1 inch above your pattern paper. As we proceed in the video, you will see the essence of this 1 inch startup line at the down. All of your measurement is expected to start after your startup lines. So next, I'll go ahead to measure and mark out what I measured as my total neck width of my dress. Remember, I folded my neck on the shoulder point and I measured it and I got 12 inches. So I'll mark out these 12 inches on my startup line here, and to ensure I get a straight line, I'll place my tape a bit upwards and I'll also mark out the 12 inches above and I'll connect it together with a straight line like so. I will indicate this part as the back part and this part as the front part. On the back part, I'm going to measure out 1 inch upwards like so, and I'm going to mark it. I'll take my French curve and I'm going to connect it using the partial curve to the back part like this. Kindly note that you can use your free hand. Just ensure that you do not make a slanted line and your line is not too curved. Just watch what I do and this will be a guide for you to use your free hand. So I'll go ahead to indicate this part as the down part. I'm doing this so that we will not mix it up. Now, following my new curved out line, I'll go ahead to mark out my collar height, of which I am using 3 inches. Just ensure you follow your new curved line and you mark out your 3 inches with a dotted line, and then you use your curve rule and you connect these marked out lines together. I'll go ahead to indicate this part as the up part. So next, you are going to go to the front part and you are going to extend your line. And to be able to do this correctly, you just go ahead to remeasure your collar height from the down part, which is 3 inches. Mark it out. Then using your straight rule, you go ahead to extend the top part of your collar like this. Now, on that extended line, you are going to go out by 2.5 inches. You mark it out and you're going to connect it to the down part of the front center with a slanted line like this. So we go ahead to add our sewing allowance all around except for the back center because it's supposed to be closed and cut on fold. I'll be using my red pen to mark out my sewing allowance. For the down part, following your curved down line, you are marking a 0.75 inch sewing allowance for the down part. This is the essence of the 1 inch extra I said you should leave at the down part of your pattern paper, because on your down collar we are adding 0.75 inch. Remember to connect your sewing allowance following the curve with your curve rule like so. I will add ½ inch to the front part and I'm going to mark it out like this. On the top part, I'll be adding ½ inch to the top part, following my curve like this. When you are connecting this, please remember that at the front extended part, it was a straight extension. So your sewing allowance should be connected straight at that part. Then you use your curve rule to connect your sewing allowance at this curved part of your collar. So I'll go ahead to cut this out, following the added sewing allowance. Cutting on my fabric, I make sure that the back center is cut on fold. I have 2 pieces of this. I have ironed my paper stay on the wrong side of my collar. So I'll go ahead to make sure my actual marked out lines, not my added sewing allowance. I'll measure it to the ending part like so, which I have 14.5. This is not a constant. It depends on your size and your neck width. So I'll place it on that 14.5 on the tip there, and I'll measure down to my actual line, not my added sewing allowance. I have 18.5. I'll multiply it by 2 because my collar is on fold. I have 37. So I went ahead to cut a long band, and for the width of the band, the width of this band is 2 inches, and I have weaved one side of the band. Either you weave it or you overlock it, is the same thing. So I went ahead to measure out my 37 inches, and I added an extra of 14 inches to the length of my band. This is because the ruffle effect is not very full on the collar. Next, you are going to create a stitch line half inches away from the weaved point, which you are using to create a gather effect that will be equal to the total width of your collar that you just measured. So when you are done with your gather, this is how tangled it will look, but just ensure that you share the fullness of your gather all around evenly. So I'll go ahead to iron this down. So after I have ironed this is what it looks like. So just give it a good press. I will unpin my pattern paper from my fabric, and I'm going to notch the down part of my collar so I do not mistake it for the up. I'll take one part of the collar, open it up. On the side, I'll go up by 0.75. I will also mark 0.75 upwards on the down like this. From this 0.75 inch point, that is where you are going to start sewing your ruffle, okay? So I'll go ahead to mark out my sewing allowance I added of 0.5 inches. This 0.5 inches is where you are going to be top stitching your ruffles on, and you should make sure that it ends 0.75 inches away from the down. I've top stitched my ruffles. Make sure that the overlocked part is facing the down and that you are stitching on your sewing allowance that you added. This ruffle should stop 0.75 inches from the down, and at the down point you just curve it inward to get a curve like this at the down part of your ruffles. I'll place the other collar on it, and I'm going to start stitching 0.75 inches away from the down part, and following my already stitched line, I'll sew this all around. So before you trim out your excess, you flip it to the right side and confirm that none of your ruffles is tucked into the stitch you just made. After you have confirmed this, you go ahead to trim out your excess. Flip it to the right side, then you go ahead to give it a good press. After you are done ironing this, you are going to pick a single part of the collar, and you are going to trim the sewing allowance on the down part. Remember, the sewing allowance at the down is 0.5 inches. You trim it to be left with 0.3 inches, and you ensure that you are following the curved structure of the down part of the collar as you trim this out. I'll take the dress, I'll place the two shoulders together, and I'm going to notch the center of the back neckline. I'll also notch this new cutout I just did on the collar like this. Now I'm going to take this part that is shorter. This is the shorter part. I'm going to place it on the wrong side of my dress. The notch part will be sitting on the notched back center, which I just notched, and I'm going to pin it up at that point, and I'll go ahead to sew this all through to the front part. Everything being equal, this is supposed to go all around if you measured your neck width accurately. Now we move to the front part of the dress and the unsewn part of the collar. You are going to take your neckline and you clip it like so to allow your stitch part to be able to flip downwards. So you flip your stitches downward like so, and you take this unstitched part, place it on it, fold it in neatly, and you are going to be top stitching it. Remember, this is the right side, but don't worry, just make sure I top stitch this neatly and that the beginning point, which is this center, is finished neatly. So I'll just top stitch this all around. So when I'm done top stitching, you can see what it looks like on the right side, my top stitching and the down part. I use a white thread so you can see my stitches. But when I flip this to the right side, the back collar is going to roll over that top stitching we did on the right side, and you are going to have a very neat look. These white stitches will be covered by my body, and everything being equal, you should use a matching thread. I just did this so you can see my stitches very well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.